All right. I kind of planned on what I was going to say or what I was not going to say. With regard to the video that I saw, and I forget the gentleman's name, and this perhaps was a spur of the moment thing. And one of the things that I perhaps plan to do is plan a little bit better and have a little bit better quality on the shows that I am doing. But as of now, this is just something that just kind of occurs to me within within this society and within this the country that I'm living in, America, and the cultural divide that seems to be not only just in America but seems to be strongest within the West and in particularly the Anglo sphere. So this is just my sorry, I got to take away my gum. This is just my brief observation on what is going on and what are perhaps the best way for things to be handled. Perhaps I could be wrong on that again, but it wasn't too long ago that Black Rifle Coffee Company got involved in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and things kind of snowballed. Really kind of, I don't know if you could call it out of control, but they did snowball. And with regards to the cultural war, I do believe that Black Rifle Coffee Company perhaps, disrespected their base and the people who were on a certain side of this cultural war. And this cultural war at this point really takes no prisoners. And when you're on one side and you kind of perhaps deviate or go to the other, they will feel like that is a betrayal and you're showing perhaps your real side. So it's a good idea to know your customer base and the people that you are selling to, and perhaps even at this point in time, what is going on in this country and why people would feel to a degree betrayed. And I could, like I said, I certainly could be wrong on this, but the culture war has intensified since Trump has become president. I can go into things about how the internet, how there was behavior before, and the third wave anti-racists who are the ones, at first, were the ones who really wanted to curtail internet speech, and they'll claim it as hate speech. But there was a cultural war that is happening, and when Black Rifle Coffee Company started to make comments about Kyle Rittenhouse, that is when the culture war started to happen. And this is my opinion on the leftist establishment. These individuals are this is a hive mind of people. I don't know how prominent they are, but they are certainly a hive mind of people that seem to have taken over a lot of our institutions, and they are extremely vindictive and very fearsome. And they do not believe in empathy. They do not believe in due process. The only time they believe in due process is outside of is within the court of law, is what they say. But if you look at the dictionary of due process, it includes the first definition does include a wider scope, I believe, for due process. That being said, I think that perhaps people can sit down and perhaps agree, both moderates, conservatives can agree, moderates, conservatives, and liberals can agree to what they're dealing with the leftist hive mind that is out there. And in my opinion, these are the people who lock you down. These are the people who demand that you take a vaccine and will economically crush you if you don't. These are the people who let criminals out back onto the streets. These are the people that support one side of the cultural war, and they are rather large. And I don't know who it was, but he did say something about the Proud Boys and that they are a racist and white supremacist organization. I think that the Proud Boys has, a lot of people on there, and they were, right smack dab in the middle of the cultural war. And they did have their outliers, and the left likes to focus on the outliers of any group, and that basically defines them. There is no nuance with the left when they are with regards to their enemies. They are just one-dimensional. And it doesn't matter whether you agree with them or not. I think people should understand the tactics of the left, and perhaps even the tactics of the right are some on the cultural right. And this has began on the internet. And it's almost an all or nothing game. And my thing is, human beings can have different ideas, and they can have different perspectives, and they don't necessarily, that doesn't make them evil. They may be wrong, but it doesn't necessarily make them evil. And the worst kind of evil out there, on average, are from people who believe that they are doing the right thing, that they are on the side of the angels. And that is the hive mind right now that is controlling our lives. They believe that they know what is best with regards to how to deal with this pandemic and how to deal with different forms of cultural strife. And it's just, I was better. I was actually better when I first kind of was thinking about it, and then I come to it, and then the words kind of slip away. But I just believe that what's holding us back is that human beings should be able to sit down and discuss with one another, and talk to each other and with each other, and not necessarily at one another. There may have been things that were done by Black Rifle Coffee Company that were insensitive, and they perhaps, what seemed to me is they put down a lot of their base. And I don't know if there can be a meetings of the minds, because I believe that they lost quite a bit of money. And I think it's been said, Winston Churchill, I believe he said, the problem with committing political suicide is you live to regret it. And I believe the problem with committing economic suicide is you live to regret it. And these, the people believe that, hey, they were standing up for what is right and what is good. I think it was a rather myopic view, and they didn't, like I said, they look at what the left has given them, because the left defines the right. And at this point in time, there is no due process. There is no right to be heard. It's only slander. And it's, if you are a conservative group within the, that is fighting within this cultural war and you're not leftist, you stand a great chance of being greatly slandered and defamed as a human being. And people do take it personally when you take that side, when you take the other side, because the other side is weaker. And really and truly, when you take the side of the establishment, you truly are punching down. You're punching down on the people who had businesses that were burned to the ground during the riots. You had people who strived to defend themselves that were put in jail and not necessarily given a fair trial. I mean, that's certainly what it looks like to me. And maybe they understand it and maybe they don't. But when you punch down, and the people that are punched down upon are going to take that, really personally. And human beings by nature want to be listened to, and they don't want to be defamed, and they desire due process as human beings. And when that does not happen, it's going to create other things. And I'm hoping, one of my hopes, and this is just a small channel and very few people listen to it, is that we can get to a place where human beings are given a kind of due process and are listened to as human beings before punitive action takes place. Anyway, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, particularly if you disagree. I know I didn't get all things, and maybe I sounded as though I'm rambling, but it was just my 2 cents and 2 cents worth, and it was a show that I was viewing with regards to Black Rifle. I forget the name of the show as well, but it was an interesting kind of take, and yeah. So anyway, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and maybe even share the video if you gain anything from it. Thank you so much for listening.